Hey, what's up, Hammerheads? Welcome back to the channel. I got a fancy new gizmo for Christmas. It is a facial recognition tracking mount for my phone. So I got it from my in-laws. They hooked me up. It was a surprise. So we're going to use this sucker today. Hey, there you are. Follow me over here, would you? Are you coming? There you are. All right, so it's 2024. Yeah, let me zoom you in a little bit. I got a remote too. Check it out. So 2024, I got some parts stacked up. I've been lazy because it's cold and I hate winter, but that's okay. It's build season. We got to get to work. Spring is coming. So we got to get parts on the car so we can enjoy it when the weather gets nice. And last year, I bought some S4 Swaybars. These cars, this B6 generation Audi, there's a base model, which this car is. There's the S-Line sport model, and then there's the full S4. The S4 is the sportiest version. It has the big V8, all the cool stuff. That's the one everybody wants. Yeah, I like my little 1.8T though. It's good. So we got these sway bars that are sitting on the table right here. You guys can't see them. Rear and front. So let me zoom you out a little bit more. Maybe you can see my table. Can you guys see that table right down there? Yeah, maybe. So we got some new sway bars, and to get rid of the rusty and the crusty, which is what we've been doing with this car forever, we got new end links for the front. These are from 034 Motorsports. This is the actual, I don't know if these are street density or track density, to be honest. So I can't tell you, but these are upgrades from stock. The stockers look exactly the same, to be honest. Like, the casting is aluminum. They look to be exactly the same, but the rubber in here is upgraded, stiffer, stronger rubber. So that'll quell any movement. We got rear end links, and we didn't get any fancy parts for the rear because they're pretty expensive to go to the adjustable ones, and I don't know that we need to get that crazy. So we just got some brand new OEM replacements. These are from Suspensia. I don't know where these guys are from, but they got a spicy name. So we got new parts. The 034 kit came with new bolts, nuts, so that was super cool of them. So as always, get yourself a PB blaster. We're just going to be using some basic hand tools today. This is going to be a really simple project. Anybody that knows how to turn a wrench, turn a ratchet, and hold a wrench, anybody can do this stuff. Super, super easy. As always, when you're messing with any sort of bushings, you don't want to use any petroleum-based grease on them. The petroleum will degrade the rubber. These are the, These are the old bushings for the rear. We're going to try to use our nice bushings that are on the car. We already upgraded the suspension sway bar bushings on this car to, what the heck were they? Powerflex bushings. Those are really, really good stuff. So we're going to try to use the good ones that are on the car. We should be able to make them fit these sway bars, but we always want to use a silicone-based grease when working with rubber. You don't ever want to use petroleum because it'll degrade the rubber. So before I jibber jabber for days and days, let's get this old pig jacked up. So I got the car jacked up off camera. You don't need to see that. But one thing I do want to say is when you're working on suspension, you want all the weight on the tires. So jack your car up and throw some ramps under it, throw cement blocks under the tires, whatever you got laying around. This car has aftermarket front lip on it, so it can't drive up on ramps anymore. You can get some fancy low profile ramps, but they're stupid money. So I just jacked the car up and slid the ramps under the tires. That way, all the weight is on the tires, so when we tighten everything up, everything's where it wants to be. If you were to let the tires droop and tighten everything up, then when you set the weight back on the tires, everything would bind. So you want everything real close to where it wants to be when you're on the ground, at ride height. So just remember that. Keep the weight on your tires if you can. Sometimes make things a little bit more difficult, but just do it. All right, guys, so we went ahead and got the new end links bolted to the sway bar before it goes into the car. So this is a 14 millimeter. We just bolted those on there loosely, like they can still move. See, they can still rotate. Just barely snug it up. Gonna have to re-snug that, but just barely snug it up so you can align everything under the car. But bolt those on under here or out here, and it's a lot easier than doing it under the car. Okay, so we're laying under the car, and I'm going to show you what we have to unbolt. Let me flip the camera around. Okay, so yeah, we'll stay this way. There's nut. Hey, wait, are you upside down? Is that gooder? Nut right there, and nut right there. We got to pull those four loose, and then the end link is right back here. See that guy right there? And then it bolts right up there. So kind of tricky to see, guys, but there's a bolt. There's a bolt we got to take out. See that bolt head on the left right there? We're gonna pull that guy out, and we can leave these end links on the old sway bar and pull everything out together. So I'm gonna get this stuff unbolted and pull it out. It's super self-explanatory, so I'm not gonna film any of this. Okay, guys, so the front is bolted in. You can see the nice shiny sway bar in there, and you might say, boy, it looks a lot like the old one. They are actually the same diameter. The S4 sway bar is totally solid, where the A4 sway bar is hollow. So this one's a whole lot stronger. So you can see that power stop bushing in there, the 034 end link, and the S4 sway bar all in the front. Should be a large improvement. Okay, so the front was done, and we're on to the back. As you can see, the car's already jacked up, and we loosened up our exhaust hangers, and it sagged down about an inch, and we're going to see if that's enough to get what we got to get out of here. So, crawl under here. Alright, so the sway bar on this, it is that itty bitty tiny little thing right yonder, that little guy right there. So we have, let me get the light. Here, you can see this side better. We got light right here. Hang on. Crappy cameraman. See right here, right there, and up there. Gotta take those two bolts out. Same on the other side, and then the link is up in there. We gotta take that end link right there. There's a bolt in the end of that we gotta take out, and then right under here, there's two bolts we gotta take out of there. Gotta take that top one out first, and that will disconnect the end link from the sway bar. And then you can come down here and take those two bolts out, and the end link will drop out the bottom of the control arm. You can see that this right here is supposed to be over on that rubber right there. So that sway bar end link has technically failed. It slid off. It's still all connected together, but it ain't doing a whole lot like that. So that's good. We're finding more stuff wrong with this car, and we're replacing it. So as you can see, my fancy purple powerflex bushings, we're gonna try to keep those guys as well. Hopefully they'll be able to fit the new sway bar. Might have to do a little modifying on that, but we're gonna find out. So take those bolts out, take that bolt out, take those bolts out, both sides, and then we can try to finagle this thing out of here. Don't criticize my welds. Okay, so let's look at the back sway bars real quick. The skinny one, the small one on top, is the base model sway bar, which is 16 millimeters. The S4 sway bar is 20 millimeters. So pretty good size difference. We get out here to the end, you can see that's a pretty good size difference. So this should definitely make a real world noticeable difference in how flat this car handles. So let's stab this fat boy in there. Okay, hammerheads, so our new used S4 sway bar is in. See it up in there. Got our powerflex bushings to work. There's a little bit of a gap in them because they really had to squeeze on there, but we're going to send it. Those are street density I guess if you over tighten them, it makes them track density. Right up in there. There is the suspensia end links bolted in down below. You can see there's two different bolts. That one on the right broke off when it was coming out, so I had to drill it out. See all that? Yeah. Had to drill it out, tap it out, put a bigger bolt in. It is what it is. When you're working on old cars, it happens. So, over to the other side, the other bushing, and the other suspensia. So, that's it. Back is all in, and I am done working. So, that's super cool. So like I always do, I'll show you the carnage. Tools scattered everywhere. Drill bits out. Carbide burr. Step bit. Pipe. Breaker bar. Tap. Table. Destroyed. Stuff everywhere. Metal shavings under the car. But hey, that's part of it. I don't hide anything. But everything is in. Everything is installed. Everything worked good. If it were a brand new car, it would have went flawless. I choose to drive old pieces of crap, so I deal with this stuff. So, but that's it. Everything's in. I'm gonna take it for a drive tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe I'll get a little driving footage. Maybe I won't. If I don't do the driving footage, deuces. We'll see you later. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing on your socials if you choose to do so, and we will see you in the next one. Okay guys, so it is the next day, and we are obviously on the road. We are driving by Shell Chemicals, and we're going to take a little back road. It's a Sunday and it's gorgeous out, so there's people on the road, but this is a little back road. Hopefully we'll get a little open space with no traffic that we can try out our new sway bars. I kind of tossed the car around a little bit already and it seems pretty darn good, so let's go for it. Incredibly well, so we're not going to push it too hard. Whoa, we almost caught air right there. We may have actually caught a tiny bit of air. This thing is way flatter than it was before. Oh, hold on. Okay, here we go. We are still on stock springs and struts, so that's going to be our limiting factor. And we have coilovers to put on this thing, but we just haven't got to it yet. So I'm not, you know, well, I'm turning the windshield wipers on is what I'm doing. Sorry about that. I'm not driving too crazy. Hey, turn those off. Guys, this thing is so much better. Holy crap. I was afraid it was going to understeer. Because a lot of people say that these things like to understeer when you do the S4 sway bars. We're into some houses here, so I'm going to chill out a little bit. Yeah, supposedly these things like to understeer when you put the big sway bar on the front. A lot of people will just do the sway bar on the back. But, you know, I wanted to do them both and see what it felt like, and I am not upset that I did that. This thing is on rails compared to what it used to be. I was not going slow through that little section right there, and she handled pretty freaking good. The tires on this thing aren't that fantastic either right now. I have my winter set up on, so when we get some stickies on this thing, it'll really hook up. So I'm pretty impressed by that little, you know, section right there. That's a pretty twisty, turny little section, and I'd say the old pig did pretty good. Okay, guys, so we drove down the road, we turned around, we're gonna hit that little section again. It's the best twisty, turny little section of road around me. It's actually pretty freaking good. So we're gonna go back the other direction and see how she do. I'd rather go uphill than downhill, but it is what it is. This is kind of almost between second and third gear, but it's alright, we'll just let her eat in second. Yeah, we need third. This is a good little piece of road right here. We got a little bit of rev limiter there. Guys, this thing is good. Might have bottomed out a tiny bit right there. Woo! This thing is good, man. Yeah, I'm not going completely nuts. Like I said, I don't know this road real well, but we're not going slow. This thing is good. Okay, so that's that. Enough driving footage before before I get too brave, get in trouble. Very pleasantly surprised. It's still slow, but it's good through the bends. And that was the idea. I wanted to get the chassis good before we throw power at this thing. You can throw power at a bad chassis all you want, and a slow car will walk away from you on a back road. So that's that little driving footage. Thank you for watching. Hopefully that was entertaining. I know some of the videos are a tiny bit dull, so hopefully that driving footage will spice it up for you. Hey, you guys have a good day. Peace out, yo.